Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Grogan. This video will go over how to create a pie chart or how to create a chart in general using Google Spreadsheets. All right. This particular video will deal with mainly this section, creating a pie chart of the Google Spreadsheets. Up to this point, as I mentioned before, all right, the first file for this project, which you're using Google Sheets to create a spreadsheet that you're going to call checks. That's going to cover creating a simple workbook and writing formulas using functions and formatting the appearance of a workbook. Okay. The second spreadsheet that you're going to create is one that's called company, and that's is covered in advanced spreadsheets and linking worksheets. If you go to the video on advanced spreadsheets, I go over all of that. All right. The third file that you create is called expenses, and that's where we will start off for this, for creating a pie chart. Okay. So once you open up this creating a pie chart, before you get into this, just as you know, you just go here, and the directions for this project is right here. Okay. Oops. So I'm going to select creating a pie chart. And what we need to do, all right, is before you start going anywhere with this, is that you're going to go to Google Sheets. You're going to create a new spreadsheet. Okay. And oops. All right. Oh, I apologize. All right. Look like this. Okay. And essentially what you're going to have, okay, is once you have this, once you create a new spreadsheet, you just you go up to the top left-hand corner here where it will say untitled spreadsheet. You just highlight it and just type in expenses. All right. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go back here, this tab, and you just work your way down. Okay. All right. So we've already done this part here. And what you'll need to do is you're going to enter the following data into this spreadsheet, which I've already done. Okay. So you don't need to bold the text for it. All right. But you want to make sure that you get this information down. Okay. And just copy it as exactly as it says on the directions. All right. And once you do that, all right, what you're going to do, all right, is that you're going to then select the data that you just entered. All right. Now, one thing that I went over this in class, but you'll see something here. It says select the area A1 to B7, and you'll notice that where it says A1 to B7, in between those two cells, you'll see a colon. All right. Basically, what that refers to is it's a data range, and it's something that's part of a whenever you enter in a formula using Google Sheets, you refer to the one way to enter in a formula is you type in a word that signifies, well, you start off with the equal sign, then type in, if you're adding cells, you type in the word sum. And once you do that, then a parentheses will come up, and then you highlight the cells that you want to add up. And the cells that are inside those parentheses are referred to as a data range. When it comes to creating charts, it works in the same way. So what we're going to do is we're going to select cells A1 to B7. You just click on cell A1 and then just drag all the way down to B7. All right. Then what you're going to do is you're going to select Insert up here on the menu bar, and you're then going to select Chart like this. And what's going to happen is that you're going to see a chart come up, a pie chart in particular, and you'll also see something called a chart editor off on the right-hand side. Okay. Now, for this particular section, all right, you're going to be creating a pie chart, and the default setting is a pie chart. All right. So, but I'm just going to quickly go over the chart editor with you. All right. And what you're going to do is that you're going to be editing some stuff within the chart editor, and the final product of this chart is going to look a little bit different. Okay. Now, there's a couple of different ways to do it. You can work your way down, all right? But one thing you'll notice is that the chart editor on the directions will look a little different than what they do on the Google Sheets that you're using. So what I'm going to do is, all right, the final product is going to look something like this. Right? If you go scroll all the way down to the bottom, it'll look something like that. All right. So what we're going to do on this video is I'm going to quickly edit this so that way you'll have a general idea of what the final product should look like. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the chart editor and you'll notice that there's two tabs, one called setup and one called customize. All right. When you get to the next section in this project, you will be changing, you're going to be using a different chart. But when you go on the setup, if you click where it says pie chart and scroll down, you'll see a number of different options there. If you, in the future, if you use Microsoft Excel as your spreadsheet program, you'll have a lot more charts to choose from, okay? Whereas Google Sheets a little more simplified, okay? But we're going to keep it at a pie chart. The data range, A1 to B7, I mentioned that a minute ago, okay? We're not going to mess around with the label or the value very much, but if we scroll down here, this stuff here, we're going to keep it the same, okay? Now, if we go back up here where it says customize, if I click on that, this is where you can do a lot of editing within this chart right here, which is what we're going to do. The chart style, which is the first one, okay, that basically allows you to change the color of the background of the chart, all right, and it also can color in the border of the chart. We're not really going to do that. However, one thing that you'll notice on the final product here, okay, is that this chart has a pie chart. It has like a 3D, it's basically a 3D pie chart. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and you'll see a checkbox here right next to 3D. I'm going to click on that. There you go. Now you have a 3D pie chart. Okay. So now the next thing you're going to do is the next part of this customized section is pie chart. All right. Now, we're not going to create a donut hole, but that's, you know, if we were, it would look something like that, but we're not going to do that. All right. Where it says slice label, all right, right now it says none, but if we click on it and we select percentage, the percentages that are on, the percentages that show up here, show up on the pie slices, okay? All right. And, oops. So that's how that works. All right. Next section here is pie slice. We're not really going to play around with that, but if you wanted to, although we're not going to do that here, but if, you know, in the future, if you're working on a separate project and they want you to have the pie slice to, like one particular pie slice separate from the rest of the pie, you can do that with something like that. All right, but we're not going to do that here. Now, the next section here is chart and axis titles. All right, what we're going to do here is that we're going to add the word expenses to the title of this chart. Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to say where it says title text weekly, and I'm just going to add the word expenses. Right, you'll notice that the change comes up right away. And down here, if you wanted to, you know, we could bold the text here. Maybe change the title text color to black. Okay, so it comes out a little bit more. And if you think it might work better if we center a line, we could do it like that as well. All right. The last part here is legend, and where it says position, right now it says auto. But if we click on that and we select bottom, what you'll notice is that the legend becomes color coordinated, much like it's, you know, it's labeled by color. All right. And if you notice, if we go back to the directions here, that's basically what it's supposed to look like. All right. And we don't really need to do anything else with that, you know, with this particular section. All right. So we have all this in here. Okay. And the last thing that we're going to do, all right, we can get rid of this chart editor at this point. We click on the chart Okay. If you click on the chart, you'll notice that, you can click and drag, you can move it around, but you have to be careful where you click on the chart in order to make it do this. All right. Because you might, if you click over here, you might mess around with with the pie chart. You don't want to do that. All right. But what we're going to do is that we're going to make this pie chart have its own data sheet, all right, or actually have its own sheet tab. To do that, what you have to do is that you put this insertion point right up here on the top right-hand corner where there are three dots. We click on it, drop-down menu comes up, and we select Move to Own Sheet. There you go. Okay. Now, what ends up happening here, and I know you may not really see it too well, but you'll see that this has where it says Chart 1 down here on the bottom left-hand corner here. You'll see that it has its own sheet tab. Okay. And it makes the chart bigger. All right. And the reason why people do this is that creating a chart is another way to analyze data on a spreadsheet. When you see spreadsheets, you usually see rows and rows and columns of data. All right. And one way in which that people analyze that data is that they create formulas. All right. Another way is creating a chart. And that's basically what this particular section does. So once you have all this in, then you're done with this particular section. The last section, which is on creating a column chart, you're still going to use the expenses file. All right. But what you're going to do is you're going to enter in, you're going to create a separate sheet tab within the expenses file, and you're going to enter in all of this data here and then use that to create a column chart. All right. And that's pretty simple. All right. Once you have the general idea with the pie chart, you just do the same thing with a column chart. All right. If you have any questions on this, let me know. But once you're done with all of this, with the expenses file, and once you're done with the company file and the checks file, make sure that you submit all three files to me in Google Classroom. All right. And as I said, if you have any questions on that, feel free to let me know. Thank you very much.